You need to bring more women for your husband. Trust me, the moment you accept this, your life's gonna change. Men need more than one woman, and men crave more than one woman. See, the thing is, we don't want to say this to ourselves. We prefer to say, I'm enough, but it has nothing to do with you. As a matter of fact, when you understand this and have this real talk with your husband, when you understand this, the bond you have with your husband will be unbreakable. Your husband shouldn't come home to a dirty wife. If you know your husband's on his way home and you've been home all day and you're in dirty clothes, go take a shower. Get cleaned up before he gets home. Smell good. Do something that'll make you attractive to him, you know? Simple advice, and it'll save marriages out there. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. We got a very heartfelt message and I wanted to share it with you guys. So it's about the matchmaking service. He says, Assalamu alaikum, brother or sister. I'm happy to see such websites on the internet, but the prices are too high. Sadly, the brothers and sisters who struggle in the quest of finding a good spouse often cannot afford such services. I feel personally targeted against when reflecting on my poor wealth and situation. I hope you'd find barakah in lowering your prices so you can make the world a better place. Kind regards. We got your message, Yassine, and we agree. So here's what we're gonna do. Starting tonight at midnight, we're going to launch a docu-form on our website, and we're going to make the matchmaking free. So you can tell all of your friends, inshallah, moving forward, our matchmaking service is going to be free, and we're going to ensure that everyone and anyone who can access the website can get matched for free, inshallah. The goal is to help as many people as possible, and your kind message and the way you asked and all of that really was heartfelt. We really felt it on our side of the world, and inshallah we want to help everyone out there. So there's one catch. Because it's going to be a free service and we're a limited team, we're going to have to limit the number of people we can help at a time. The good news is we're going to launch the service tonight at midnight. So midnight California time. So set your clocks, be ready to sign up. And yeah, no more excuses. A lot of you said, I can't afford it, it's $8 a month. We got rid of that. It's free. We're helping you find a partner for free. What's the excuse now? No excuse. So go to the website, www.marriageishalal.com, and sign up for the free matchmaking service. And may Allah help us and help you find the spouse you're looking for, inshallah. Never let fear dictate what you do. If you are not healed, that's a different story. If you need time to heal and be emotionally ready for a next marriage, that I understand. But if you have fear and that's the only thing that's holding you back, don't let it hold you back. Just step forward with faith and hope and positivity, and inshallah, that's what you'll find. And if you're ready to find a spouse, go to marriageishalal.com. We're matching people for free. Go click sign up, and inshallah, we'll get you married. It's important for a wife to listen to her husband. It's important for a wife to let her man be a man. And every woman has to understand that the level of respect you give your husband has to be more than the level of respect you gave any of the previous men in your life. So many women always say, I want to break from my husband. I want to go out with my girls. I want to go a week away, go on vacation, go do different things. I just want to break. But they don't, because they fear, what will my husband do without me? Will he be disloyal? Will these things happen? And there's another woman in the picture, and your husband goes and spends time with her, and you have time to rejuvenate, to bring your energy back up, to be that amazing woman you are. There's no words for it. There really isn't. The strong woman is a marketing ploy, okay? They market it to you that you can do everything. You can work, you can be a stay-at-home mom, you can be the love of his life, you could do it all. But let's face it, a lot of women out there are exhausted. They don't want to be the strong woman that does it all. Society has marketed to women that you can do it all and you're equal to a man at detriment to women. The reality is, take a step back, fall into your femininity, fall into your feminine energy. You will see that when you do that, you'll find a peace you won't find elsewhere. And let me tell you something. When you recognize that, you don't need to fall into these marketing ploys of like, you're strong and independent and you can do it all. You're human. You need help. You need a tribe. You need support. That's why I say, let your husband marry another wife. Trust me, it is good for you. You will have time off. You know what I'm talking about? You have time to do whatever you want without the fear that he will be like disloyal or he will go out with a woman. A lot of women don't want to say this reality, that men do fall. A lot of women stay married in marriages where their men have gone out, stepped out on them. They take them back and they accept the pain and they try to move forward. But do you know how much better it is if mentally you tell yourself, that is his other wife. That woman loves him, cares for him, she respects him. They're in a committed relationship, just like I and him are in a committed relationship. The peace that you get from that, I promise you, if you ever try it, there's a little bump you have to get over, which is the ego, fear of jealousy, fear that I'm not enough, fear that I'll lose him. Those are all not true, because when you pick a good man, he will make you feel like you are the world. He'll love you the way you are. He will do all of that, and you will reciprocate and give him what he wants. So trust me, it's a really, really different world on the other side. You just got to get over the bump. A lot of women, when they first get into a relationship, they have this one fight. Every woman has this fight with her husband, and that's the fight of jealousy. She notices her husband looking at other women. She notices her husband paying attention to other women, whether it's on Instagram, real life, and that's when the reality hits her. But she doesn't want to admit it to herself, that her husband needs more than one woman, and it has nothing to do with you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that men are naturally lured and tempted by women. زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ حُبُّ الشَّهَوَاتِ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ. Allah says it very clearly in the Quran. On top of that, He allowed our men in Islam to have up to 4 wives. Allah picked 4. He didn't say 2, 3, 4. And on top of that, my husband came to me and openly, honestly told me that he wanted multiple wives. Why would I stand in his way? So I tell him, marry only me, and then if you fall into sin, it's your fault. If you get tempted by women at any point in our lives, it's your fault. No, at that point, it's my fault. It's my fault because I let my ego and my emotions and my selfishness make him fall into something, even though he was openly honest about it and he talked to me, even though Allah allowed it, even though it's permissible in Islam. Today, I got a really good question and I want to share it with you guys. But first, in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Allah says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَّوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Allah tells us that from us, He's created our spouses. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, so that you live with them. Second is somewhere you live, but it's also somewhere you find peace. It's somewhere you like feel at home. So Allah created from you, your spouse, that's someone you will feel at home with them. So it's just, yes, your spouse, your soulmate is out there. Your soulmate exists. You will find peace with your soulmate. Allah promised you that, and that's enough. That's the best promise. Because racism is still very much alive in the Muslim Ummah. Racism has not been eradicated. In fact, the only people that don't face racism in the Muslim Ummah are people that have the skin color like me or lighter. Brown Muslims don't face racism, so they say it doesn't exist. They say there's no racism in Islam because I don't face it. Black Muslims are saying that they're facing racism from brown Muslims, so we gotta believe them. And number one, we need to stop it. So Sada reached out and she asked me this question. How do you not get jealous with your husband marrying multiple wives? Think about it like this, Sada. If you grew up in a society where men married multiple wives and it was a normal thing, even you would be okay with it. A lot of times, women aren't jealous of their husbands marrying multiple wives. A lot of times, women fear what other women will say about them when they hear that they let their husband marry multiple wives. If someone comes to you and they tell you, don't listen to your husband, don't obey your husband, you're a modern woman, you don't need to do that. Stop hanging out with them. They are not your friends. 90% of women that talk like that aren't even in a happy marriage. Like, why are they even giving advice to you? Don't take it. Here's what you need to do. Cut them off. Because if you do listen to them, guess what they're going to say? They're going to say, that girl is so stupid. She's listening to me and she's going to be single just like me. It's important for a wife to listen to her husband. It's important for a wife to respect her husband and let him be the man he is. And most importantly, it's important for a wife to give her husband a level of respect she has never given to any of the previous men in her life. When you had boyfriends, you were dying for them to ask you to marry them. You were dying for a ring on your finger. And now that they married you, you don't want to respect your husbands? What's the logic? If I had a friend that told me not to obey my husband, not to listen to my husband, I would know that that friend doesn't love me. And I would stop being friends with her, because a true friend knows that if you are in a marriage and you want to be in a happy marriage, a wife has to listen to her husband. A wife has to respect her husband. And that's what leads to a happy home. If you don't do that, you're not going to have a happy home. And that friend doesn't want good for me. This chapter is for your parents. So for all of you out there that want to get married and your parents are the reason you're not, this chapter is specifically for them. And I'm going to read from the middle of the chapter. So this is a hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. إِذَا أَتَاكُم مَّن تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ فَزَوِّجُوهُ. Okay, so that's the beginning of the hadith. And in English it says, if someone proposes marriage to you whose religion and character satisfy you, then you should accept it. If you do not do so, there will be trials on the earth and the spread of corruption. So basically, this is saying that if someone comes and you're happy with their deen, their religion, and their character, there's no race, there's no money, there's no doctor, lawyer, engineer, all of those, okay? And this chapter dives more into it. Yes, you can have a preference for what your child wants. And at this point, you guys aren't children, you're adults, okay? This chapter will help you navigate that conversation with your parents. It'll equip you with the Islamic knowledge that you need to present a logical case to your parents or to anyone else who will be your advocate. So again, this chapter is called, This Chapter is for Your Parents, chapter 23 in the book Marriage is Halal. You can get it on the website, marriageishalal.com. Go get it now. This is one of my favorite chapters, chapter 17, How My Wife Found Me. Talking about me. Right before we got married, my wife told me this. Well, actually, she was telling her friend this, I just happened to be there. Take a piece of paper and write down a list of everything you want in your ideal partner. Set a 3-minute timer and don't hold back. Write down what you truly want in an ideal partner. My wife then revealed to me that that's what she did a year before she met me, and I met all her categories. I think this strategy is brilliant. By writing it down, it gives you direction, and when you have direction, you're more likely to get to your destination quicker. Though I like this method, I do not think it is enough to just write down what you want in a partner. As a matter of fact, I think it is much more important to. You thought I was going to give you the juice? Go to marriageishalal.com. Get this ebook. It will change your life. Don't get it twisted. I'm not a submissive woman. I submit to my husband because I chose this man. I respect him and I obey him. Okay? Don't get it twisted. The Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا أَتَاكُم مَّن تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ فَزَوِّجُوهُ فَإِن لَا تَفْعَلُوا تَكُنْ فِتْنَةٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَفَسَادٌ عَرِيضٌ. He said that if someone comes to you, if someone comes to you and you are satisfied with his religion and his character, then marry him. If you do not do so, there will be fitna, like trials and tribulations on the earth, and corruption will spread. The Prophet was so wise, and the deen is so wise. Us, our parents, sometimes we don't think clearly. Especially if you found someone and you're ready to marry them and you are satisfied with their character and their religion. Your parents cannot stand in your way. They cannot say no based on race, tribes, nationality. He's not a doctor, engineer, or lawyer. If you want to be equipped with the religious knowledge to talk to your parents and advocate for yourself so that you can marry the person you choose, go get the book marriageishalal.com at marriageishalal.com. The book that we wrote has so much information in it. It'll, 1, help you how to find a partner, 2, give you the Islamic knowledge that you need to talk to your parents, and 3, give you logical arguments to talk to your parents. No more waiting on anyone else to advocate for you. Go get that book and inshallah, you will benefit enormously. If a man wants you to be his second wife, the best person to ask about this man is the first wife. She will be the best character reference. Anything you want to know, you should find out from the first wife. Plus, it gives you a sense of whether or not he's honest with her. Because if he's happy and honest with her, that'll be great. You're a great addition. But a lot of men, they look for a second wife to replace the first wife because their first wife and them have a really bad relationship. If that's the type of man that's asking you, He is not for you, sis. Real Muslim men are not scared of strong women. If you're a woman out there and you're like, I'm independent, I know what I want, I intimidate all these men. No, sis, you're not intimidating men. You probably have a really bad attitude that you should probably fix. Once you do, you will see these men will come fallen out of the woodworks. They will want you. And men want a strong woman. They want a smart woman. They want someone who knows what she wants. But nobody wants someone with a bad attitude. Not men, not women. That bad attitude needs to disappear. I don't get jealous. I mean, look at me. But jokes aside, like, I like my own space a little bit. You know, when my husband goes to be with his second wife, I like having my own space. Even when I was growing up, my siblings would go out to play and I used to stay home and read a book. So I've always cherished my own space. But most importantly, like, I know he's in good hands. When he's with his second wife, I trust her. I know she's taking care of him. And most importantly, on top of that, I trust him. And he's been honest from the start about what he wants. So if he's with his second wife, I can rest easy. Women always say it's a woman's choice, protect women, support her choice, whatever she wants, she should get. And then the second a woman comes out and says, I'm okay with my husband marrying 3 wives, they come out of the woodwork like, how dare you? Like, oh my God, how dare you have a choice? In some situations, women are the one oppressing other women. So let's be real about the equality. Every woman should do whatever she wants, and she should get the support, regardless of whether you agree with her or not. A lot of women are holding their husbands captive. They're not having sex with them, and instead of letting them marry other women, they just be in this relationship where they're angry, they're resentful, they're not having any type of connection with their husbands, and then they're like, no, he can't marry another one. Sister, this is good advice for you. First of all, when you bring in another woman, you're gonna spice up the marriage. Like, first you have your own time. You create distance, you miss him. Second of all, he's got options, so it's not the same boring stuff that you're used to. It'll, honestly, ask a sister that's married to a man with multiple wives. And statistically, there are more women on earth than there is men. And if every single man just married one woman, there would be millions of women that are single. Like, why would you want that for your sisters that you love? Honestly, I love my friends, and if they wanted to marry my husband, I would definitely encourage it. So a lot of you have asked me, why are you looking for a third wife for your husband? Like, why doesn't he look for her himself? The deal was, when I first married my husband, he told me before we even got engaged that he was interested in marrying multiple women. And I told him that I was on board, but I wanted to be included in the process from the beginning. I was the first wife, I approved the second wife, so why wouldn't I approve the third wife? You know, I want to make sure that this is someone that's coming into our home, that one is respectful and kind and all the good things. And two, if my husband likes her and I like her, that's great, right? So that's why I approve her.